Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, y'all? It is your boy David, and I'm here with another Knicks on Top post game video. Man, what is going on? As you see, the New York Knicks keep the hot momentum rolling by defeating the Memphis Grizzlies 133 to 120 to extend their winning streak to 5 straight games, and they stay undefeated at home, moving their undefeated record at home to 7-0. And what a game this was. Again, picking up the momentum where they left off from Brooklyn, pushing it to this game tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies. The New York Knicks were able to dominate, push the ball, go fast pace, move the ball at all costs, knock down their three-pointers, shoot a franchise record for threes. Make it 22 of them out of 55, but shooting 55 threes and actually going ahead and really taking care of business. That's what you like to see. Let's look at some post game quotables right here that I put down. I will show you guys the screen right now, just so you guys can see it. All right, so I said the New York, it is just posted, by the way, so make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Top Bunk Sports. Make sure you guys like that, retweet that, and share that. I said the New York Knicks have defeated the Memphis Grizzlies to extend their winning streak to 5 games and their undefeated record at home, which now moves to 7-0. For the third straight game, the New York Knicks have scored 130 plus points, which is a franchise record. This is their fifth straight game scoring 100 plus points in a game. They have also shot a franchise record of 55 threes tonight. 6 players with double figures, including double double performances from Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. 32 points from the bench with Jordan Clarkson leading the way on a 13 points and 5 of 7 from the field. Jalen Brunson found his momentum tonight with 32 and 10. He is your player of the game, and obviously tomorrow we are back in action at the Garden to play the Orlando Magic. Now you see it right here. Jalen Brunson, 32 points, 5 rebounds, 0 steals, but 10 assists, shooting 11 and 19 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3. So he was on a roll. Let's look at some of the box scores as we keep it going. You have the New York Knicks, obviously, OG Anunoby starts it off. OG Anunoby, 16 points. He was 7 of 17 from the field, 1 of 10 from 3. He shot that 3 in the third quarter, at the very beginning of the third quarter from the top of the key, but was not very good from the 3-point line. Could have had a better game, so you want to see a little bit more from OG like you saw from him in Brooklyn. But Karl Anthony Towns, again, being able to muscle his way, trusting his 3 a little bit more, 21 points, 13 rebounds. He had 3 steals. So again, something for Karl Anthony Towns to hop on when it comes to his defense, being able to rely more on his defense than it was last year. Remember, a lot of the times he was questionable in terms of what can he bring from the defensive side of the ball. So now you're seeing that, and now you're being able to watch Karl Anthony Towns go ahead and really take care of business as we go on into the season. Man, we like to see a different and more sustainable Karl Anthony Towns. He had 2 blocks, which is what you like to see, and also he had 2 turnovers. So Karl Anthony Towns taking care of the basketball a little bit more, being reluctant on decision making, and just again being more aggressive as he keeps going. You like to see that, and you just like to see him trust his shot more, right? You saw his confidence taking the 3 behind the key. He was making them. Really nothing more I could say. Again, he was 3 and 9 from 3. So again, being more confident, obviously only making 3, but you like to see the confidence more because a lot of the times his threes weren't falling to begin the season. So now he's going into using his second option, which is being aggressive. So you like to see him use both of that. Again, shooting 47% from the field, 8 of 17 from the field. So a little bit better, but the decision making, I can't really complain about. Landry Shamet with 10 points. Again, coming in to the first quarter with 8 quick points. 8 quick points, being able to be a presence in on that court, whether it's offensively, whether it's defensively. And if you look at his box score, and I'll share the box score here as we go. If you look at his box score, what I liked about his box score is that in his box score, you see he was 3 of 5 from the field, 60%, 2 of 4 from 3. He was shooting that thing like nothing. And you like to see that. You like to see a little bit of more of a Landry Shamet being able to go in there and really, like I said, dictate the pace of the game, especially when the ball is on his side. I mean, he's always standing by the corner. He's always standing from the wing to the corner. So when he's standing in those two positions, whether it's on the defensive side or whether it's on the offensive side, waiting for the ball or kind of setting off ball screens, kind of cutting a little bit. You saw when we scored our second point of the game, it was off of a miss, and he got the second chance point to put it up, to lay it up. So Landry Shamet being able to see the vision of the court, being able to read the ball and where it's at, and not settling for just threes, not being able to just watch. He's making the difference maker even without the ball, and you like to see that. You're going into a Jalen Brunson, right? Jalen Brunson setting the pace tonight. Really, really being the captain, really, really being the burner, really, really being the floor general. 32 points found his way. The Grizzlies could not stop him. Five rebounds with 10 assists. Again, this is something that they always criticize Jalen Brunson for his game tonight. Well, not tonight, but overall throughout his career and his last 2 years with the Knicks. This is what they criticize his game about, how Jalen Brunson cannot be a first-team point guard. Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson's assist numbers keep doing this. You look at his numbers last year. His assist numbers last year were even better than his assist numbers in the first year. And now he just keeps outdoing himself. And Jalen Brunson, I'm sure, understands, like, yo, I got guys that can score, man. It's not me and Randall just being the only two, juggernauts on the team that are scoring. Yo, we got juggernauts on this team that can put the ball on the floor and that could go on and that could really do some damage. So you like to see that the assist numbers, but again, a double performance. Jalen Brunson doing what the captain always needs to do. Is no negatives for me when it comes to Jalen Brunson's performance. Again, 11 of 19 from the field, shot 57% from the field, 6 of 9 from 3, 66%, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He was a plus 22 tonight. The only negative in the starting lineup would be Landry Shamet, and everybody else was a plus point differential. Obviously, Cat was 0, but with Cat being being a 0 plus or minus point differential, I don't really count that. Another dude that I want to talk about, Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges tonight was really all over the place. Offensively, defensively, you love to see that. This is why they call him the wing stop. This is why they call him the troublemaker on the court, right? You're looking at his stats today: 22 points, five assists, 7 rebounds, 4 steals tonight. 0 blocks, 0 turnovers, 8 of 7 from 8 of 17 from the field, 47 percent from the field. The 41 was Karl-Anthony Towns. So if I said 47, my apologies. 3 of 8 for Cat. So it wasn't 3 of 9. That was for Mikal. So excuse me on that. 33%. So 37% for Cat. He was 75% from the free throw line. He was a 1 point differential. But again, being able to use his size, his length, his width, and just being a difference maker on that court, this is what you like to see. This is the Mikal that Tibbs couldn't get out consistently. This is why Tibbs was held to a high standard. This is why Tibbs was being criticized with Mikal Bridges, because you look at what he was doing in Phoenix. You look at what he was doing in Brooklyn, right? In Phoenix, he wasn't the guy they relied on, right? He was not the guy that they were relying on for offense. Obviously, defense, right? Everybody knew what he brought to the table in terms of the defensive side of the ball, but he wasn't relied on for offense. He comes to Brooklyn as the number one option in the Kevin Durant trade, and now he's on a different role. He comes here, he's playing with 2 stars within Randall and Brunson, and now Cat and Brunson, and now Tibbs really doesn't put him in spots to succeed, right? He was more looked at as an RJ Barrett role when Jalen Brunson was here in his first year with Randall, right? Jalen Brunson now with Mike Brown in here, Mike Brown is like, listen, if you're doing this, and I'm always gonna do this in my videos because this is what Mike Brown wants on both ends of the ball, right? On both sides of the court. If you're doing this the entire way, the ball's gonna find you. The ball is gonna find you. The little things that you do on that court, whether you're backdoor cutting, your backdoor screening, you're setting off ball screens, you're moving without the ball, you're creating stops on defense. The ball is gonna find you. And you want to know something? When the ball movement happens, McHale's always at the corner. When the ball movement is happening and the ball is at the corner and they're setting screens for him, what is McHale doing? At the wing, or he's at the top receiving the ball so he could drive and cut, or he's gonna go in for a midi. Like at the end of the day, like I said, the ball is gonna find Mikal Bridges, and every time that it does, it happens. It happens, and he makes his shots. Again, a different Mikal Bridges tonight, and that's what you like to see. What I also like, again, if you look at the way the minutes were in Brooklyn, guys were probably on their, I would say the most that they played was probably 30 minutes itself, but guys were playing 20 to 20, 25 to possibly 28 minutes, right? The minutes were a little bit higher, but you look at Jalen Brunson not even touching the 40 mark tonight, which is beautiful. Landry Shamet, 21 minutes. Mikal Bridges, 38 minutes. Karl Anthony Towns, 32 minutes. OG Anunoby, 36 minutes. You like the fact that these guys haven't even touched the 40-minute mark or the 45-minute mark. And that was the problem with Tom Thibodeau. Now, I believe that this would have been much lower if the fourth quarter of disaster didn't happen before Jalen Brunson hit that three-pointer with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter to kind of give us that leeway to kind of just exhale and be like, all right, we're cool, we're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're good. Because after that three-pointer was made, Memphis Grizzlies called the timeout, and Jalen Brunson, you could kind of see, he was like pointing to the guys like, thank you. So you like to see that. You like the fact that they're not overly, they don't look tired, they're not overly used, and that was a main issue under Tom Thibodeau when he was coaching. It was these guys were playing 40 minutes a night almost every game, and they look tired. So if the minutes are like this, or like how we saw it against Brooklyn, I have no problems and no doubt that the New York Knicks will be freshed up to go for the playoffs, because you like that, right? Mike Brown is utilizing his guys in the safest way possible, and I think it's a beautiful situation. I think it's a great situation. Again, guys are not so tired. Guys are being able to be, they're being utilized in good situations. You like the fact that, Mike Brown is implementing a strategy here where, again, there's one thing that he wants him to do, and again, like I said, it's fast paced, but it's also being able to give everybody a chance to play and score and break down that defense. Break down that defense. Make sure everybody knows that, listen, they're not going to stop us if we're playing like this. And you saw it. How many games have we seen? We've seen 5 straight games where the New York Knicks are just passing the ball, right? Cutting, getting shots down low, because your guards and your guys at the top of the key are watching and have the vision for it. You're seeing it. And again, a lot of it comes from Brunson tonight. 10 assists. If Jalen Brunson's numbers is 10 or above, I'll say if he's having at least 8 or above. If his numbers are in that range, you got nothing to worry about when it comes to Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson is gonna make sure, if I can't score and I can't get a shot in right there, my guys, I'm gonna get somebody to score that rock. And I'm gonna get my guys involved. So you saw that. You see confidence like Jordan Clarkson. Again, like I said, 13 points, led the bench, right? The bench had 32 points overall, but he led the bench with 13 points. Being able to trust himself, being able to trust Mike Brown and the vision that he has for his team, letting that shit go. I'm sure Mike Brown is telling him, like, I want you to shoot those threes. I want you to shoot those threes because I know you can make them. I know what you can do with the rock. And then you're seeing it. That veteran presence that Jordan Clarkson is bringing, you love it. You absolutely love it. So, again, I like it. It's beautiful to see. Mike Brown is on a path to get the Knicks to dominance this year. And yes, we don't lead the Eastern Conference right now, but the way this team is playing, I don't see anybody in the East right now that could stop us. And that's just me and my confidence. I want to look at some team box scores real quick before some team stats before we get into a little post game talking from the coach himself. So like I said, the New York Knicks were 47 of 98 from the field. They shot 48%. They were 22 of 55, and like I mentioned before, that the 55 threes being shot was a franchise record. They made 22 of them. They were 40% from the three. 17 of 20 from the free throw line, 85%, 44 rebounds as a team. 10 of them was offensive, 34 was defensive. So guys like Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns getting buckets, Yabusele getting rebounds. You had 35 assists as a team, which is what you love. You had 12 assists as a team, excellent. 2 blocks, only 15 turnovers compared to Memphis's 22 turnovers, and I think that was the momentum of the game for the Knicks to capitalize off of those turnovers. Ja Morant had 8 of those 22 turnovers, and you kind of see what he's going through. He doesn't want to be there, and I feel like every time he's on that court, he's just trying to play in a way where it's giving the Memphis Grizzlies owner front office a message like, "Yo, I don't want to play there. I'm done here. I'm done. I don't trust the coaches. I don't trust anything that they're trying to tell me. I'm good. Y'all fired Tyler Jenkins. That was my guy. I don't. Y'all don't trust me. I don't trust y'all. I don't want to be here." So again, eight of those turnovers came from Ja Morant himself. Points off of turnovers, the Knicks had 11, Memphis had 33, and most of that came from our second half. But with the disaster fourth quarter, again, if you look at the fourth quarter on the final box score, the Knicks pretty much outplayed Memphis for the first half, 42 to 30 and 35 to 24. And then in the second half, you had a close one in the third quarter where Memphis won that quarter 39 to 37. And then obviously a dominant fourth quarter, 27 to 19, but it was not enough fast break points. Like I said, Memphis with 14, the Knicks with 16. So they beat them in that category. Points in the paint, especially with the Knicks relying more on their threes. The Memphis Grizzlies were able to capitalize in the paint, so you kind of saw that they outlasted the Knicks, and that 50 to 46 goes to Memphis. And then obviously both teams were fouling pretty hard, both with 20 fouls, and then that's the largest lead was for the Knicks was 28, and at multiple times it went from 28 to 19. Then the Memphis Grizzlies, especially in the fourth quarter, cut it down to 10. So the Knicks were kind of losing it in the fourth quarter. They really couldn't find their momentum in the fourth quarter, and you kind of saw that. But they were able to, with some timely shots and a big three by Jalen Brunson with 3 minutes left to go, and some free throws as well, because the refs were given certain calls to the Knicks, and those were key for the Knicks in that fourth quarter for the Knicks to run away with this win. If you look at some team stats, like I said, they shot 48% from the field. They had 44 rebounds and only 15 turnovers, like I said. So that was key. Again, taking care of the basketball as much as they could and being able to share the basketball and share it at a fast pace, and just reading the court quickly and safely, not letting the other team's defense set to stop you and try to get a stop. So you like that. Again, they had no answer for Jalen Brunson, so that was another key part. But now that I went over the numbers, let's hear from our coach in Mike Brown. And I'll put it up for you guys so you guys can see. Okay. So this is what he had said as we go. Okay. See here. Okay, so this is when he first started.
Defense in the first half wasn't great, but it was okay against a team like that. The way we calculated, they had 16 fast break points against us in the first half, and the second half we let up We didn't sprint back like we should have. When we did sprint back, we just ran to our man. We did not play our rules, and they got layup after layup after layup after layup after layup against us in transition, which gave them confidence. And then when we were matched up, we protected the basket. Instead of playing our rules, we had a second guy go to a guy that was at the rim, and that always left a perimeter guy wide open for a catch and shoot three. So, giving up 29 fast break points to a team and a half is going to kill you, especially if you have 11 turnovers in that half. And so, I thought we were careless with the ball as well. Obviously, we're not going to do this every time we step on the floor. At times, you're going to do this, and then you might take a step backwards. So you might take two steps backwards. Hopefully, we can learn from this and grow from this, which you can do in wins. You can obviously learn and grow in losses, but hopefully we'll grow from this and come out and try to put 48 minutes together in our next game, because those two areas we did not do a good job of.
Right. So he's talking about the second half performance. Although, the Knicks were able to score at times to kind of save themselves, the Memphis Grizzlies found their momentum and found ways to cut that lead down to again shoot it to a 10-point lead, where the Knicks, ultimately found themselves in trouble. So, you like to see that that they were able to make adjustments midway, but they were really struggling to find momentum in that second half. Thank God it didn't really bite them too much. But let's keep it going with some more post game talk. And here is Mike Brown talking about playing at MSG. Put it for you guys right now.
I guess you haven't lost yet at home. 10-0. I guess your team, that's the nearest mark to you. That's your next benchmark if you want to keep going. What is it like? How important is it for you to establish at home?
One second, guys. I just want to make sure that the audio is not messed up. So give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. I'm gonna put it for you guys right here. Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go.
We're saying, oh, God, you haven't lost yet at home. 10-0. I guess your team, that's the nearest mark to you. That's your next benchmark if you want to keep going. What is it?
I don't think you guys can hear that. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think you guys can hear that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
We felt we were good.
He said, in quote, playing here at MSG, playing at home, there's no better place to play for our group. We fed off the energy being here. We figured it out, and we strung some games together because we play the right way on both ends of the floor. So again, the energy of the crowd and them knowing how to play the right way at home, I think that again plays a big factor, and that's what he's saying here. You know what I mean? We found our momentum, we found our groove, especially with the energy of the crowd that's playing behind us. So you like to see that. Let's keep it going. He says here on the next one. Let me see if this one play. Nope. Okay, so you can't hear that one either. Mike Brown talks about the first and second halves tonight versus the Grizzlies. We did do some things right, but I know and I think the guys in the locker room feel we could have done better. And I would think he would be saying about just again taking care of the ball a little better, shot selection. They were moving the ball good. In that, you saw how they when they started off the game, they were down 7-2, and then they found their way to score. But I think from the standpoint he's talking about is just being able to take care of the basketball, right? They had a couple turnovers in the first quarter and then a couple turnovers in the second quarter, and it wasn't that bad as compared to it wasn't in the second half, in the third and fourth quarter. But I'm saying in terms of just mental mistakes, right? Taking care of the basketball, like I've said many times, and just utilizing that, not letting the other team physically dominate you. especially turn up the heat when they see you kind of breaking a little bit. So he might be talking about that on that end. Let's keep it going. All right. I guess the question.
He's
Okay.
an all-star.
So Mike Brown talks about OG Anunoby. He says, and I quote, OG Anunoby is an all-star, in my opinion. Not only is he an all-star, he is an all-defensive performer. In my opinion, he should have an opportunity among others in our group to fight for defensive player of the year in this league. And you know what? That is total respect. That is total respect because OG Anunoby, when he first got here, and when it was talked about OG Anunoby coming here, on that trade, right, to Toronto, where we sent Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett, his defense was the first thing that they spoke about. That he's a wing, that we needed wings on this team, that we needed defensive help, and that's what they brought him here for. And then obviously, like I said, he could put the ball on the floor. And I put out this tweet, basically kind of talking about something that was mentioned to me last year, right? Because OG Anunoby, besides being hurt all the time, was criticized for his game. And it just seemed like starting the year, and I'm going to find it because I know it's here. Starting the year, people were criticizing him for not being able to get to the basket and score his own way. So this is when OG Anunoby scored right here. Look at the video. Really pushing the thing. So I got it right here.
Sure my role.
Really pushing
I was averaging 24 seconds. I'm
post
not
up.
really sure my role. And
He goes
I was
in,
averaging
muscles his
24,
way,
12
and
last
dunks
call.
it
Here we
in,
go.
right?
OG,
So
do it again.
for the caption, I was told last year that OG isn't a player that can put the ball on the floor and get you a bucket at any point in the game. He's been doing that. I meant to say Ben, excuse me, but he's been doing that since the season started. So him being able to say that about OG Anunoby defensively, it's not shocking to me because we've known how great he is, and I hope he does win Defensive Player of the Year because certain basketball, fans in that I know or I would think probably don't give OG Anunoby his respect on both when it comes to being a defender, but can also score the basketball when he needs to. Let's get into more if there's another one. So let's see. Okay, they're talking about Jalen Brunson. Well, I just wanted to show you guys a couple of things on as to why, what Mike Brown was saying, and I think it's key because again, he's gonna be brutally honest with you, right? He's gonna tell you what he loves. He's gonna tell you what they can work on better, and then he's gonna hold his players accountable. And I think that's what you need, especially now. I think you need that. I think you need a coach that's gonna be like, "Yo, fuck the outside noise and fuck whatever happens." Right now, you're here. We got to play better. We got to play smarter. We got to play quicker, play with more aggressive, with more aggressiveness and athleticism, and let's show them what we can do and why this team is so powerful. So you like the fact that he's able to speak on both ends, and again, when he needs to hold his players accountable, he does, and when he doesn't need to because they're having a good night or a great game, he will give you credit and he will shout you out. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what I wish the audio was working, but it's not. And if it does, based on this recording after, then it's my fault because I couldn't hear the audio that well. So maybe if I didn't hear it, you guys didn't. And the audio is coming through my headphones. So yeah. But other than that, man, listen, the New York Knicks are able to really dominate besides the second half, but they were able to get some big buckets in the second half to keep them in the lead and keep them going. And when we talk about the Knicks making their presence, especially defensively, you look at the Memphis Grizzlies box score. Jaren Jackson only 19 points. Jaden Wells with 18 points. Jock Landale, 8 points. Contavious Cadwell Pope 4 points, and then John Moran, which is their best player ever, with 16 points, 4-14 from the field, only 2 of 6 from 3. They had that brother quiet tonight. And like I said, it could mean two things. It could just mean he's not in a groove, or he is in a groove, and he's sending a message to the organization of Memphis saying, yo, I don't want to be here no more. Okay? Every little shit that I do, and I'm not defending him because obviously we know what he got in trouble with, but in his perspective, he's probably like, every little shit that I do, y'all criticize me, right? And then y'all want to bench me because of what? So maybe he just feels he feels like he just needs a new change of scenery. So maybe the way he played tonight was a message for that because I've never seen John Morant play like that. was shocking to me, but I loved it because obviously it was against my team, so we kept getting the ball. But it was unlike John Morant. I'll be very honest with you. It was unlike John Morant. But their best player, probably besides Jared Jackson, was Adama, right? Adama played 30 minutes, 19 points. He was 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 of 10 from the field. They were able to put the clamps on most of the team and just let, like I said, the bench kind of do its thing against Vince Williams Jr. 14 points, 4 of 7 from the field, 57%, excuse me, and 3 of 5 from 3. Cam Spencer 11 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. Again, the young guys finding the energy and the momentum to try to push something for Memphis, because their best player in John Morant was a no-show today. So, yeah. But the next game that we have is tomorrow at 7:30 against the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic will be coming here. We'll be seeing Desmond Bane in his new jersey for the first time this year. But with that being said, guys, this is it for your Knicks on Top post-game video. I am your guy, David. Make sure you guys like, share, follow, and subscribe to the YouTube to the Top Bunk Sports YouTube channel, and make sure you guys follow me on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Top Bunk Sports. This is another Knicks on Top video, episode 6, Knicks versus the Memphis Grizzlies post game. I am your guy David, and I will check you guys out on the next video. Peace.